Hey everybody, welcome to Pop Culture Philosophers. I am Rockin' Robbie Billups.
And I'm John, Hammertime Holshoe.
And today we are going to be talking about our top 5 favorite Batman-Superman fights.
Put 'em up! Put 'em up!
Alright guys, first up, number 5, 2005's Luthor, Man of Steel, written by Brian Azzarello with art from Lee Bermejo. This book was absolutely fantastic. It's told completely from Luthor's perspective, and in it, Batman is trying to fight Superman with kryptonite. Superman is flying towards Batman and blows the kryptonite away from him with his super breath, also blows him off of a building, picks him up, basically rockets him up to like almost the stratosphere, drops him back down. Batman makes it to the ground. He comes in full force Superman punch, stopping just like a centimeter before he actually makes contact, knocks him out right there and then. But it's a great fight. Superman wins, and it does show you what would happen if Superman was coming at Batman no holds barred. Obviously he wins.
Number 4, Superman Red Sun, 2003. That's Mark Miller and Dave Johnson. Incredible comic. It's an Elseworlds. It says, what if Superman landed in Russia and was the hero of the Red State? When Batman confronts him and fights him, Batman's actually prepared and uses some red lights that replicate the red sun of Krypton. And of course, Superman, without getting his power from our sun, weakens him, levels the playing field. Batman gets in a few good punches before Wonder Woman actually destroys the generators controlling those lights. And then Batman, at the end, instead of being captured, Batman just suicide, blows himself up.
Number 3 is the 2002 controversial semi-classic by Frank Miller and Len Varley, The Dark Knight Strikes Again. Now, no matter what you think about The Dark Knight Strikes Again, it's one of my absolute personal favorite Batman-Superman fights. Batman is completely prepared, and Superman, being once again a pawn of the state, is sent to stop Batman. He plows into the Batcave and has to fight a robotic dinosaur, a robotic Bizarro, and then Batman gets the aid of the Atom, who messes up Superman's inside of his head, so he loses his balance. The Flash hits him with a bunch of bombs. Green Arrow shoots a kryptonite arrow at him that Superman ignites with his heat vision, and it's actually kryptonite napalm. And then Bruce himself shows up as Batman with these giant kryptonite gauntlets on, proceeds to beat the hell out of Superman for about 3 to 4 pages, and tells him, I'm done talking, get out of my cave. No matter what you think about this controversial classic, it's my favorite, one of my favorite Superman-Batman fights.
Number 2 is Batman Hush from 2002 by Jeff Loeb and Jim Lee. This is one of those ones where Batman doesn't have the upper hand, is not super prepared beforehand, but what he does have is a kryptonite ring. And he confronts Superman, who's not under the control of Poison Ivy. He gets in a few good jabs, but before he gets the fight finished, because Superman's going to throw a car on him, he looks up and sees that Lois Lane is dangling off the side of the building, being held by Catwoman. That breaks him from the fight, and they use that to get him out of the trance from Poison Ivy. But it's a phenomenal fight, and again, the Superman... the fact that he has that ring, that kryptonite ring, but at the end of the book, Superman says, I'm happy I gave you that ring just in case. I'm happy I entrusted it to you, Batman.
Number 1, could there be any question? 1986's Dark Knight Returns. That's right, the basis for Batman vs. Superman in theaters this weekend. Movie night coming very, very soon, so be on the lookout for that, our review on Batman vs. Superman. But Dark Knight Returns, 1986, Frank Miller, Klaus Janson, Len Varley, fantastic book. It's one of the best in the industries. In the book, Batman is an old man coming out of retirement. Superman is now a stooge of the state. He's being controlled by the government. And the government, of course, can't stand Batman's anarchist ways and sends Superman after him in the battle for the ages.
Batman's actually super prepared, and this is the first big fight you see between them, and he is prepared. He's got the awesome armor that they adapted for the new film, and since he's prepared ahead of time, he actually taps into the city's electrical grid so that he can land a punch that's just all the electricity in Gotham. And he actually does prepare this whole fight and draws Superman into Crime Alley, which where Batman's parents were killed, if you recall. That's where the big showdown is. And man, that punch.
Also, Green Arrow, of course, hits him with the kryptonite arrow, which really weakens him for this. But he pulls out all the stops. And one of my all-time favorite moments in comic book history is when Batman has his boots on Superman's throat. And he says, Clark, in all of your days, I want you to remember the one man who beat you. And of course, Bruce then fakes his death, stops his heart, and then proceeds to fight crime underground. A fantastic fight, fantastic book.
A phenomenal book, a modern classic, and it's one of those books that if you're a Batman fan, if you're a comic fan, this needs to be in your collection because it's phenomenal.
It's a great book, and it is fantastic. Just like John says, thank you guys for watching the video. Let us know if we missed anything, if there was something on our list that shouldn't have been on our list. Let us know in the comments below. Let's get the conversation going down below. Thank you for liking, commenting, and sharing. And, of course, please do subscribe for more videos, including our next Top 5 in our series, Top 5 Movie Remakes. I'm Rockin' Robbie Billups.
And I'm John Hammertime Holshoe.
And be sure to check us out at popculturephilosophers.com for podcasts and more. And thanks for rocking with us.